start with appetizers. First bites that we start with, I already took 3 bowls. One bowl with some sushi rice underneath. You can also go for crushed ice or salt. Just something to keep the oyster shell of the Dutch flat oyster. Then in the other 2 boxes we have the oysters that we poached, that we just keep on seawater, but please only go for the oyster. So take the oyster out of the box and dress it nicely in the shell, just like this. Then we made a vinaigrette from grapefruit with a little bit of hazelnut oil. So we just made a coupe colonel with a small dash of vodka, lemon juice and grapefruits that we just pour on top of the oysters. Made a ceviche from razor clams with blueberries. So in the first box we have a creme from horseradish, a little bit spicy. Just take a small cup, small bowl, or a nice cocktail glass, and we just start with a small dot of the creme. And then we will go on with the razor clams. Same story, we put them in a little bit of seawater. And so we only take the razor clams. It's around 4 to 5 pieces of razor clams for each person. Then on top of the razor clams we will put a little bit of roodhoorntjeswier. It's a North Sea seaweed. And then last thing for on top of the razor clam, take some blueberries out of the box. These are unripe blueberries that we pickled and harvested last summer. And we made a vinaigrette from dulceweed, different kind of North Sea seaweed, a different kind of North Sea seaweed with blueberries and cabbage. So we just mix it up and we spread the ceviche with the nice vinaigrette of the blueberries. Okay, and then the last one, we have 2 boxes. One box with a salad of North Sea crab with tandoori spices, and the other box contains a bisque from North Sea crab. So what do we do? We will just take a pot, add the bisque, and we boil it very short. Okay, so we start in the bowl with the salad of North Sea crab. Just put a little bit down on the bottom. And then we will add the salad of carrots. Just spread a little bit of the salad on top. And then we will finish it with the creamy bisque that we just pour on top. Just like this. So 3 very easy steps to prepare your first bites. Fruits de mer amuse. We have the oyster with a coupe colonel of grapefruit and hazelnuts. Ceviche from razor clams with blueberries and cabbage. And we have a bisque with North Sea crab and carrots. So like this, we're good to go. We already seasoned all the vegetables, so you don't need to do anything with that. Only thing that we will do is just start building a base on the plate. So I will start with my roasted celeriac with hay. On top of that, our own preserved cabbage, like sauerkraut. And it really doesn't matter how you start. Just build a nice plate. That's good for your visual idea of your vegetable at the moment. What we always do is that we just start with all the easy vegetables that can stand alone. Okay, I will just take the piping bag and I will start making some dots of the parsnip creme. We will use this as the glue for the rest of the vegetables. So we just use the creme on top of half of the vegetables. And then we will go on with the rest of the vegetables. So this is our base of the vegetables. I will take the napkin and I will start with the crudité vegetables and the herbs on top. So it's the same with these, we just fill it up nicely. One of each of the herbs is enough and is okay in the dish. So we just have some cherry leaves, we have 2 different kinds of chicory. We have a very small organically grown lettuce, some thinly shaved cauliflowers and romanesco. And it's just a playful fact of building the full dish. So we also have the first shoots of basil and parsley. We have some tops of dill. You see, just to dress it up very nicely. I also have a piece of Jerusalem artichoke that we just sliced very thinly. If this happens, don't worry, then we just fix it like this, because it's you're just building blocks with around 20-25 different kinds of vegetables. So it's reasonable that it will drop on a certain moment. Then we just take everything over and over again and we just put it back. Just like that. And then we have 2 things to do before we will serve the dish. So I will heat up the sauce, the Bord'Eau from fermented butter. So we just do it like this. We just boil it very slightly and we put it on top. I will take the box with bergamot juice, bergamot lemons, very aromatic lemons. And I will just season the vegetables with this. So we just take a couple of spoons and we just dress it nicely on top, a little bit around the vegetables also. Take the oil from parsley and we just drizzle it on top a little bit. So the same like that. And then we just did heat up the Bord'Eau. So on the moment that you will serve this dish, you will just take a good spoon of the Bord'Eau, put it on top of the vegetables, and then you're ready to serve your dish. Just like that. We have a quail that we just deboned and that we filled with a pâté from black truffle and foie gras. We will have roasted Brussels sprouts with black truffle. Aligot, a delicious potato mousseline with a lot of cheese inside. So it's almost the cheese fondue more than that it is the potato mousseline. And we have a sauce from the roasted quail. Then next to that, I just took the box of fermented cabbage choux. We serve that cold on the dish, so I put it on the side. And then for the pumpkin dish, we have a disc from roasted pumpkin that I'm gonna put on a baking plateau and that we just roast for around 10 minutes at 175 degrees. I will have a bag of pumpkin cream. And then in the box we only have a lot of cold garnitures that I will also set aside for on the moment that we are going to finish our dish. So I will just take my pot of boiling water and I will add all the bags that we have. So I will just go for all the vacuum packed bags that I just took. We will just lay them in the water. And then I will put a timer on 15 minutes. So now I have 15 minutes of time to drink a good glass of wine. Next to that I have 15 minutes of time to heat my pumpkin disc. So I will just go for the pumpkin disc, unpack it, and we're gonna roast it in the oven 175 degrees around 10 minutes. So after 15 minutes, we will be ready with the pumpkin. So after 15 minutes, we will start with the roasted pumpkin. So I will just start on a plate with my roasted pumpkin on this side. And then we can take the bags from the hot water. Well, and then we start with opening up all the bags. So I will take a pot with the potato mousseline with the cheese. And we will just mix it up. So we just mix up the cheese crème with the potato. You will already smell the cheese until we have a nice and gooey puree. So I will heat it. Okay. So we will just start with the pumpkin dish. Take the cream and fill the disc nicely. Don't use everything, please. We just poured some extra in the box. And then we will go for the condiments on top. So I have some cape berries, physalis berries that we put underneath. We'll have a small cup of crème fraîche that we just put in the middle. And then in the meantime, make sure that your puree is going to be gooey, like an aligot. Yeah, this looks really delicious. If you have it like this, this is really nice. You see, it's just like a cheese fondue. This is exactly how aligot needs to be. So don't be scared that you overwork it, because in fact it's better to overwork it a bit, that you will have the nice and gooey puree. Well, then we go on with the rest of the garnitures. So we will have the roasted pumpkin seeds. We put on top a little bit. Marinated pumpkin. Well, and then we will spread all the toppings a little bit. And we will take the box with the leaves. So we just made some petals of pumpkin. And we're gonna make a very beautiful flower now. So we just start with one point in the center, like this. And then we're going to fill it up with all the leaves around it. So we'll just do it like that. In the meantime.
Pas, low battery.
Ja?
Ja, hij kan nog wel even.
Ja, laat maar even doorgaan. So we will just pour all the leaves on top until we have a beautiful flower made of pumpkins. So we just do it like this. And then we will finish with the last one. So we just take the first leaf that we put and we will close it like this As you see that we close with a beautiful flower. Then last detail for the pumpkin main course. So we have a box of pumpkin juice with calamansi and vetiver spices. So we just pour it on top. That's the vegetable main course. So for the roasted quail, I just took everything, all the ingredients from the bag. What I'm going to do with the quail, it's already hot from the inside, so we only need to roast it. So I will just go for a hot pan, pour everything inside, and we're gonna roast it nice and brown on all the sides. So we just roasted it like this. Then I will just go for my chopping board and I will cut the quail in half. So as you see like this, we have a nice piece of foie gras inside. There are also the bones of the bird still attached, so that you can eat the flesh from the bone. We will start with a small amount of the aligot on the plate. And then we will just smash the bird on top, like this. Then we just put some Brussels sprouts around. So we just spread them around nicely. Just like this. And then last thing is that we take the sauce from the quail and we just pour it on top. Just like this. So for chocolate dessert, we have a couple of ingredients, different textures of chocolate. And we have a chocolate mousse, a chocolate crème, brownie, a crisp from cocoa nibs. We have a jelly from fermented grapes, a mousse from milk chocolate, and we have a crisp made of dark chocolate with caramel. So we will go easy on this one. The only thing we need to do is just layer everything as simple as a trifle. I packed everything for 2 people. You need 2 boxes of the vanilla mousse with the milk chocolate, and for the rest everything is 1 box. So we will just start at the bottom of the plate with the vanilla mousse. And then we go on with the crème. We will go on with the chocolate crème. So just mix all the boxes up a little bit before you put them inside. Just like that. Then we just make an in-between layer. So we will start with the brownie of chocolate. We just smash in the middle a little bit. We will take the jelly of the Concord grapes. Adds a little bit of acidity. So we just took the Canadian grapes, fermented them for a couple of weeks, and we just used a little bit inside of the dessert. So take half the box. And then we have a box with crispy cocoa nibs, 1 for yourself and 1 for on dessert.
Yeah, 1 for yourself, but not for me.
And then we will finish with the chocolate mousse. So we just spoon a little bit of chocolate mousse on top. Just like that. Last thing you need to do, take pieces of the chocolate crisp and just put them on top of dessert nicely. That's it. Ready to go.